Hello there. I am popping in again. It is Alicia from Yoke and Abundance, and today I want to talk to you about something that I call the minimum viable bar. Okay, what is the minimum viable bar? Okay, so I'm curious. I've got a bunch of notes on this that I want to chat with you about. So, is there a goal in your life that you have been putting off? Is there a habit that you've wanted to create that you haven't been working towards, but you think about it? It is taking up brain space. Maybe it's even like a dream or a really big passion that you aren't going after. So I'm wondering, can you think of one? Write it down. There's probably something that immediately came to mind when I said that. So is it writing a book? Is it starting a business? Is it getting a new job? Is it going back to school, going to college to get a new degree? Maybe you want to run a 5K or a marathon, or maybe you want to train for an ultra run. Whatever it is, write it down right now. Whatever your dream, your goal, or that habit that you want to begin is, get a journal, get a pen. You can press pause if you need to, and write it down. So once you write it down, I want you to then, and you might need to press pause for this as well, I want you to think about, what is it costing you to not go after that dream? If you have a dream or a goal of getting stronger or eating better, that could be costing you health. And maybe you're in this place of saying to yourself, I'll start on Monday, and then you don't start, or you start and you do it for a day or two and then you stop. And every single time you stop, it erodes confidence in yourself. You start to believe that you can't do it, and that's a lie that you're telling yourself. It is like a distortion of what is really true, that you can do it. But maybe the problem is that it seems too big. There's that really silly analogy, metaphor. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you're a vegetarian, you're not going to like that quote very much. And none of us are eating elephants, I hope. Right? But when we don't go after what we want, when we don't keep the promises to ourselves, it's a problem, right? So if there's something that's really important to you, quitting your job, writing a book, starting a new job, starting a business, whatever it is, if you're not going after it, it's not only costing you something, it's also probably costing your loved one something. So I want you to pause, and maybe you need to pause me and write it down. What is it costing you to not go after that dream, not go after that thing that you really want? What is it costing your family? Do they have to hear about you talking about it? Maybe they see you losing confidence in yourself. What is it costing those around you to not go after the thing that's most important to you, to not develop the habit that you want to develop? So once you've written that down, I want you to think about the goal. And I want to tell a little story. So here's the thing. Right now, it's December. So for me, December means something called Mark-O-Thon, not marathon, Mark-O-Thon, like a person's name, M-A-R-C, Marco, M-A-R-C-O, Marco. So here's the story around Mark-O-Thon. This dude, he's an ultra runner in Scotland, okay? His name's Marco. And he always felt like his training dropped off in November, because November in Scotland, it's cold, it's gray, maybe there's snow on the ground, it's gross. Getting outside is a bit of a problem, right? So he challenged himself to run every day in the month of November, and he did it. He killed it. Well, his wife was watching, and she was also a runner. So she decided that she would challenge herself in December, once he finished, that she would do either 25 minutes of running every day or a 5K, whichever came first as the minimum. So this has turned into a global phenomenon, right? Lots of people now challenge themselves in December to run a minimum of 25 minutes or a 5K. It's just a personal challenge. Nobody's tracking it. There's no database. Nothing happens if you don't do it except that you lose confidence in yourself. So here's the thing. The thing that's awesome about Markathon is that if you're already a runner, 25 minutes daily of running or a 5K is actually not that much. It is a minimum, what I call a minimum viable bar. It is that thing, that smallest amount of something that you could do, and it's really not going to hurt that much if you do it, right? So it's a way of starting a habit, taking a small baby step towards the thing every single day. So when I'm working with clients, I often ask them if there's something that they want, what is the minimum bar? So if you're a runner, maybe it's some type of challenge like a Markathon, maybe not. I've had and I'm thinking at this moment more in the health wise because of Markathon, but I'll give you other examples as well. So maybe you want to develop a daily at-home yoga practice where it's just you and your yoga mat. Maybe your minimum viable bar is 3 sun salutations. As you're laying there in bed at the end of the day, if you remember that you forgot to do your 3 sun salutations, it's really not going to hurt that much to get out of bed and do 3 sun salutations and then get back in bed, right? So my mentor, Bonnie Christine, she talks about doing one thing a day and never missing more than 2 days in a row. It's kind of like that, right? One thing a day. So but when you couple that one thing a day with your minimum viable bar, is it 10 minutes of sketching every day? Is it walking around the block every day? If you want to start a new career, maybe it's 10 minutes of working on your resume. And then in that 10 minutes of working on your resume turns into 10 minutes of researching companies that you would want to work for, things like that. So you've written down what the goal is. Now I want you to think about what is your minimum viable bar, and then write down that minimum viable bar. Now, please, in the comment section, I really want to hear from you. What is this dream or goal or habit that you're working towards, and what's the minimum viable bar? Now, here's the very last piece of this. What is your by when date? The by when are you gonna do it? By when are you gonna start this minimum viable bar? I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here today. See you soon.